What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I am Peck, Bulls_Peck, joined by my guy, Big Day, Bow. BAWL Sports. Willie Goat Gottlieb will join us later on in today's show. Our lovely producer on the controls, the one and only Sarah Pitcher. What's up, Sarah?
Hello.
Lots to get to on today's show. The original Vegas odds drop for NBA teams' win total over-unders for the upcoming season. Where do the Bulls stack up there, and is it a solid number? Modest Buzelis, despite all of the shooting and all of the highlight reel dunks, gets shut out of the all-summer league first and second teams. Valid, snub, we'll talk about that. But first, we had some fun on yesterday's show talking about the 1901 project that was revealed by the Bulls and Blackhawks ownership groups, the $7 billion investment that they are going to do to bring some new life, some new business, and some new housing to the area around the United Center on the west side of Chicago. Sounds cool. And we also had some fun talking about how the Bulls social media had a little oopsie sharing the wrong link. No?
We mean Peck.
I had fun.
Okay.
I think I'm not the only Bulls fan who had fun yesterday.
That's fair.
Enjoying what we all saw.
That's fair.
And I said on yesterday's show, I want to know who this brave soul is.
You did.
Who is this Bulls fan?
You put the call out.
Who put the work in.
That's right.
For the people of Bulls Nation who wanted the Bulls to see that message.
That's right.
Then we would like a change in ownership sometime. And lo and behold, that brave Bulls fan has made themselves known.
Oh.
And he joins us now.
Yay.
Bulls Nation, give it up for Michael Olson joining us live via webcam. The man who made the prank heard round Bulls Nation yesterday. Michael, welcome to the program, man. How are you?
Matt, Dave, thanks for having me on, guys. Thrilled to be here. Little fun thing that happened with the friend group, blew up on Twitter, and here we are, man. So had a little fun and sticking it to Jerry a little bit. So happy to be a part of the show today.
Now, before you get into what you did, it's okay. You don't have to cover for Matt. We understand that Matt put this together. You know, he kind of brought you in. So you can just talk about how you've known Matt pretty much all your life. And he's one of your closest friends.
We grew up together. Lived down the block from each other. Known each other our whole lives. It was his plan. No, just a organic thing, right? I can hop into the story if you want. Just like anybody else, I think it was 10:30 that tweet went up. I don't think I saw it until 12:45. I was just getting home, walking up the stairs, opened up Twitter like everybody else, watched the video. Chicago right now, by the way, is just so hyped on these rendering videos between like Arlington, Lakefront, this one. It's crazy. But I was hyped for it, right? All excited. Go to click on the learn more link, and I get the same prompt everybody else did. Not there. I'm thinking surely it's my phone malfunctioning, not a $5 billion organization malfunctioning. So click on it again. I'm like, nah, it's not there. So I put it in my friend group. I'm like, boys, like this makes no sense, but for the Bulls, this makes perfect sense. Like they bought the wrong URL. So I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it. And that was kind of it. Like I hopped in the shower, I hopped out, and like in 5 minutes it was all over Twitter. So I'm like, I think I have no choice but to, sell the team Jerry up there. And next thing I knew, it was like back to work, and I was getting pinged by all my buddies saying, hey man, this thing's all over the place. So that's the backstory, man. Matt had nothing to do with it. It was all me. He is clean in the matter, but it's been fun last day or so. Simple mistake. I do want to say I hope nobody at the actual Bulls organization got in trouble, got yelled at, whatever. Hope no one lost their job over it. Just some fans having a good time, and feels like we finally got a little something over Jerry, which is always good, right? So.
I mean, of course it wasn't me because I don't have the creativity and wherewithal, digitally speaking, to make that all happen. Like, how quickly did you? Was the span of time where you realized that the site wasn't up and running and functional yet, and then saying, ooh, hey, I can go grab this domain and take it over and turn it into something else because I noticed it wasn't working, and then I circled back to it another time, and I was like, wait, did it say sell the team, Jerry, the first time I looked at this? Like, it happened so fast.
Yeah, but by the time I opened the link and realized the second time that it was just not existent, it took me longer to walk over to my wallet and grab my credit card than it did to post it. So it probably took 2 minutes to just go ahead and grab it. So it was pretty quick.
Oh wow! So you said your friends, told you everything was blowing up kind of on social media for you. Who told you that Matt Peck sent out the bat signal to say, "Yo, man, I want to go on the show. I want to get you a T-shirt or whatever"? Who put that signal out to put you in contact with us?
Yeah, great question. Honestly, it was just organic. Like I after it started, all I did on Twitter was just plug in Bulls Project, and like to my surprise, it was kind of all the website, just screenshots. I think Matt's was the top one or something. So I found that organically, just kind of just searching for it, and then obviously I'm familiar with you guys, so I clicked on the pod, and I was in tears watching Matt get such a kick out of it. So that's when I reached out to you guys. So yeah, it's been a fun last day or so.
Shout out to our comments hanging out on YouTube who are happy and stoked to see you here, Michael. A lot of them appreciate the hijinks you pulled yesterday. I'm just curious. I'm guessing the answer is no, but for the record, has anyone from the Bulls reached out to you or like said like, "Hey, how did you do this? And how dare you make us look so stupid?"
No, not yet, right? I mean, I'm curious to see if that happens, but as of now, no, there hasn't been any Bulls personnel reaching out. They're more than welcome to chat. I'm a reasonable person, right? We're having some fun.
You didn't break any laws, right?
yeah, exactly. It was readily available for very, very, very cheap. The fact that they didn't buy the adjacent URLs is beyond me, but again, it makes perfect sense. It's the Chicago Bulls. Of course, they're going to go the cheap route, right, and do something similar and have egg on their face.
So to do something like this, you do have to have some kind of love for this team in your heart to make you feel like that. So kind of talk to us about that, like where your fandom started from the Chicago Bulls. I don't even know if you're a local guy or not.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good question. So I'm in Bucktown, right at the corner of Milwaukee and Western. So I'm a local guy. Grew up in the Western burbs, but grew up, I was born in 92. There's a reason why my parents chose me to name me Michael, right? My dad and his buddy had season tickets growing up. So some of my first memories in life were in the UC. I'm 6 years old in 98 watching Jordan with my little binoculars up in the 300 section. So I'm a lifelong Bulls fan, man. Bulls, Bears, Hawks, Cubs. I'm a diehard. So fortunately, I'm not a White Sox fan. I feel for all my Chicago brethren that have two of their teams controlled by this monster. But yeah, man, I've gone through the trials and tribulations that you guys did and the whole fan base did. So like I said, it's just a little way for the fans to feel like they got a little something over Jerry and to have a good laugh about it, in July. So
yeah.
Well, Dave was joking, but I mean, you say you grew up in the Western suburbs in the '90s. Like that's me. What Western suburb?
Yeah, so from Geneva, so St. Charles, Aurora area, so way out there. Yeah.
Right on. I grew up in Glen Ellen. I was like, wait, did we actually grow up together?
Just saying.
So, assuming that, the Bulls did not follow the instructions that you so boldly and bravely gave them yesterday, wise instructions that I think a lot of Bulls fans are hoping for, at least the front office finally sort of changed courses this offseason after some painful, mediocre seasons back-to-back. What do you make of what they've done so far with the Caruso for Giddey trade straight up, the DeMar sign-in trade, moving on from him as opposed to re-signing him? The fact that Zach LaVine is still here and they can't seem to find a trade for him, but albeit mostly a youth movement happening and the awkwardness of Zach still being here. What do you make of the offseason so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it finally happened, right? I think a lot of us were probably calling for this, a year ago now. I know a lot of the fan base, and rightfully so, was pretty tied to Caruso, right? He's a pretty easy guy to like. And I know there's obviously a whole bunch with the baggage that comes with Giddey, but I think it was a good trade. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think the upside is there, and to get that for Caruso, it's tough to stomach because he's a fan favorite, but I think that's a great move. DeRozan, love the guy, right? Incredible career, incredible Bull. Part of the reason why the last 3 years they led the league in attendance, right? But it was time to move on from him. So I like that move. It's time to get young, right? We've been begging for this for a while now. I'm tired of being in playing games or fighting for an 8 seed. So it's not fun, but the growing pains are, a necessary evil right now, I think, is my take.
So, as you know, and first of all, thank you for watching this show and seeing what we do, man. We really do appreciate that.
Of course.
But Matt also said for you, sir, he would like to get you a nice CHGO shirt. Have you perused what we have available and decided what shirt you would like Matt Peck to get you?
Give this man the answer, Michael.
For all of CHGO and Bulls Nation out there, the man is a man of his word. He got me squared away with a Bulls shirt, so I'm stoked about that. We're repping around the city, man, and excited to get it in the mail and throw it on. So he absolutely came through in that regard, no question.
He actually chose the retro CHGO basketball one that Sarah just put up on the screen just now.
Very nice.
Already
Very nice
ordered.
choice.
Shipment on the way.
Yes, sir.
When I say something, I mean it. And this man deserves a free CHGO shirt for that stunt he beautifully pulled off.
And of course, we would like some photos of you in that shirt, sir. You can send those to us. Yeah, absolutely. We would love to see that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to our guy, French Bulls TV, in the comments who's saying Michael should never pay for a beer anytime he's in Chicago. I agree. On top of the free shirt, dude, we got to grab a beer together sometime, and those beers are on me because I mean, again, there's just been like this feeling of stuck in a rut, I think, as a Bulls fan over the last couple of years. And a lot of times when I'm mad about the Bulls and their dysfunction and their inability to just accomplish the simplest tasks, it's like basketball ops related, and it drives me crazy, and it's just like an annoying grind. When I get to laugh at something that is Bulls ineptitude, and yesterday the stunt you pulled being a perfect example, it's like it's a weight being lifted even for a momentary second in my day. And I mean, you say, you saw the clip from yesterday's show. I genuinely laughed harder than I've laughed in a while. And I credit you for that, sir.
Hey, sports is supposed to be fun, right? It has been fun the last couple of years. It's supposed to be an enjoyment, an escape, right? And hopefully it provided a few people a couple chuckles in July as we wait for the season to roll around. So it's supposed to be fun, man.
Do you plan on being at the UC this season? I don't know if you still go to games or not or anything.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I'm not far away, right? Just down the street from me. So absolutely. I mean, there for the Hawks, there for the Bulls, right? I know it was a joint venture, the 1901 thing. So I support both teams, man, through thick and thin. I was here for those years too after the Jordan era, through thick and thin, and that was our damn slogan. So yeah, man, I'm not going anywhere. I'm a Bulls fan for life.
So I would also like to extend the fact that you can come with us the next time we have a takeover at the UC. That will also be on me, sir. So you come on through. You know what I mean? Come on through to the takeover. Have your shirt on and just come watch the game with us. Matt will be sad, but everybody else will be happy enjoying the game.
Hey, I'm good, man.
If Michael joins us, I won't be the only one yelling "sell the team" up from the rafters. I was out there working by myself last time.
You didn't seem mad about it, man.
Get a couple Miller Lights. Get a couple Miller Lights to me, and I'll be screaming with you, man. No problem. Or Coors Light, excuse me.
That's what I'm
don't encourage
about.
you, Mike. Don't encourage.
So, just real quick before we let you go. Is this the first time you flirted with doing some sort of, website domain name hijinks and prank pulling, or is this something that you enjoy doing on a regular basis?
No, man, this was a total happenstance thing that not very often does a $5 billion organization screw up something so simple like that. So it's the first time in my life I've come across that situation. So no, that's a first and only situation for me. And like I said, I'm glad it got some laughs and people got a kick out of it. So first and only time.
It got plenty of laughs. Bulls fans appreciate your brave service, sir. Bulls Nation, give it up one more time for Michael Olson joining us here at CHGO Bulls. The man behind the prank that went around Bulls Nation yesterday and that made the Bulls tweet from their own account. Sell the team, Jerry. God, it was beautiful. Michael, thanks for hopping on, man. Let me know when you get that shirt. Send us a picture. And come hang out with us in the West Loop sometime. We'll have some beers.
Sounds good. And the website's still up, too. I think people are forgetting that. 1901 Project Chicago is still live. So
there you go. Go give that website some clicks.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you,
Take care, man.
Take care. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Oh, he's so happy.
A hero.
He is so happy.
The hero we don't deserve, but the hero we need right now.
Sarah's a little creeped out. She's never seen you this happy before, ever. She don't know what to do with this right now, dog. It's like watching the Joker finally come into his powers and smile all the time. That's what it's like.
I just appreciate it. That's all.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm so glad that he surfaced.
Okay. Yeah, that was cool.
We needed to give the man his due praise.
I'll say that.
Still plenty ahead on CHGO Bulls. Modest doesn't get Summer League all first or second team. Bulls over under win total odds and more. But first, Circa. Oh, I still feel the positive vibes of being at Circa Resort and Casino out in Vegas last week.
Still in you.
And you can still feel those vibes if you just download and give a try that Circa Sports Illinois app. Offering always those tight money line splits in their low hold model.
Tight.
Striving to have minus 10 odds out of the gate on whatever it is you're looking to bet on. Game total over-unders, game spreads. Unlike a lot of other sportsbooks these days that are often pushing those starting odds to minus 115 or minus 120 for no reason at all. Circa also keeps as little money as possible on large market bets like futures, golf tournaments, especially compared to other books. And we're going to be talking about NBA win projections, over-unders, later on today's show. The best place to do those kind of bets, if you're feeling like you know whether the Bulls are going over or under next season, is at Circa. Of course, they also have that unbeatable customer service. Real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve any issues you might have in a timely fashion, unlike other sportsbooks who use the useless, good-for-nothing, I want to punch them in the face chatbots. But that's the problem. They're chatbots. They don't even have a face for you to punch. Circa has people, and you don't want to punch them because they're actually helpful human beings.
Yes.
Same people who run their main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas are the same team of people helping you out if you have any issues with their app. Download that Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Be on the lookout also for their events, watch parties, and tailgates. And, of course, always hanging out with Sarah and all of our Cubs 120 Friday crew.
Yes.
At Murphy's, in the bleachers, at Almost Home, every Cubs home game on Friday afternoons.
Let's go.
If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 83234. Visit areyourreallywinning.com.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors. Wow, according to Indeed data. And a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast, swift. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. No. Shout out, Sarah. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed study. Now, I remember when I used to have to look for work all the time, and I found out about Indeed. Oh, I was there all the time, and it works. I promise you, I found a nice gig, and I was there for a while, and I'll tell you stories about it because I had a lot of fun at that job. But yes, Indeed works. If you're looking to work in your field, definitely look at Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our shows by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Woo! Rolling along CHGO Bulls. Willie go Gottlieb.
Our new guest?
Rolling in.
New guest. Come on in, guest.
Go! Tip-a-toe.
Get the introduction. Well done.
What's up, Willie go Gottlieb? _Gottlieb.
Yes.
Looking perfectly coiffed. You want to talk about how Modest didn't make either of the NBA Summer League all first or second teams? Because I'm not that upset about this, if I'm being honest. I was more just concerned about watching Modest and seeing what he looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is disappointed by getting shut out of these Summer League awards, but in case you missed it, first and second team were announced yesterday. Gigi Jackson the second, Jordan Miller, Scottie Pippen Jr., shout out, Reed Shepard, young Joseph, and Khalil Ware of the Miami Heat making up first team honors, and then second team for Summer League, Bob Carrington, Donovan Clingan, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Boo Heat, Jarris Walker, and Jalen Wilson. So there are your 10 best. What's that, sir?
Shout out KU.
Oh.
Shout out KU.
Well done, Sarah.
There are your 10 best named for NBA All Summer League action. Look, Modest was very active and played all 5 games, started all but one of them, and then even still played big minutes. The one game he came off the bench when BD3 was just kind of looking at something different. And he put up numbers. But I can't take any grievance with him not making either of these Summer League squads when you just look at his efficiency as a shooter, plain and simple. To me, that's the start and end of the conversation. He shot 28 of 83 overall from the field in his 5 Summer League games. That's 33.7%. So, look, there were some guys who showed out and had a really solid stretch of games in this mini Summer League season. I'm not sitting here saying Buzelis got snubbed. I'm not.
Okay, so I'll walk you through my process.
Okay.
I first saw it, and I was like, oh, this is some bullshit. That was the first thing I did. And then I'm looking at the guys, and then I went and I realized a lot of those guys on there were on teams that were undefeated. There were a lot of undefeated teams here in Summer League. And shout out to everybody who made the first and second team. You're very deserving of it. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's my bias that I'm thinking with. But then I started remembering, like, no, that dude balled. Like, he played well. Then I went and saw the shooting percentages, and I was like, oh, well, that hurts your case right there. I understand that. But then I got excited because I remember who Matis Buzelis is. And that young man is a goon, ladies and gents. Check out the interview Will and I did with him. Shout out. That's a flex. He will use this as fuel to destroy everybody else that got picked and whoever else he thinks did the picking in this situation. I think this is good for him because of the type of player and person that he is. I think he'll take it, he'll use it, he'll digest it, he'll use it as fuel, and he'll put it out there on the floor to have him talking more tons of crap when he's out there playing basketball. So thank you for not putting him on. I think this will really help him and fuel him. I really do.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, I think, Matt. Just the numbers were good in and of themselves. It was 16 points, 16.4 points, 4.2 rebounds, 0.8 assists, less than 1 assist per game. 2 steals, 2 blocks is really good, but 2.4 turnovers, and just the shooting percentage is really, really bad. 33.7% from the field, 21% from 3, 74 from the line. And yes, he was one of the top scorers in Summer League, but there's just, as we know, there's more to the game than that. And, you know, you look at basically any advanced number, it was just kind of a disaster for him. So does it surprise me that he was not on one of those teams? No. But, you know, I think that's fine. Like, it kind of really, he's like very much fitting in line with what we all kind of want and expect out of this Bulls team this year, to be fun and to be bad and to play fast and like to have some highlight plays, but to not win a lot of games because they need to keep this pick. So to me, I think it was very much in line with what I expected from him. Obviously, you want to see those numbers go up, and I think they will, just because I don't think he's going to be like the guy taking, you know, all the shots at the NBA level. So I think shots will get a little bit easier for him. He had 29 usage rate, so that's just not going to happen at the NBA. Yeah. But I think the percentages will go up, but I'm okay with him being like an exciting player that has a lot of opportunity, because I think that will result in a lot of losses, which I think are important for this season.
Yeah, I'm with it. And look, I mean, everything else about Modest, other than his low efficiency shooting the ball at those Summer League games, I loved. Yeah. The activity level, you know, the motor that we talked about after every single game, the way that he was already displaying that, you know, he might need a little bit of technique work on the defensive end, but his length, his recovery ability, his ability to block shots, like I think he had that one game with like 4 or 5 blocks. He had another game with multiple steals. I think he had several games with multiple steals. Like, I was way more encouraged than I thought I would be about Modest, his activity and his productivity on the defensive end. Yeah. And then even still the aggressiveness and, you know, go mentioning the usage percentage of Summer League Modest on the offensive end. Yeah. Just stay in the gym for the rest of this offseason. Just keep getting up shots. And who cares if you didn't make all Summer League team honors? Like, I just can't wait to watch him hopefully be a legitimate part of Billy's rotation in NBA games.
Well, I'll say this. We don't care. I want him to care.
Right. You want him to care.
I want him to care.
Correct.
I want him to give a damn he didn't make this, because it just took me right back to his speech when he got drafted and when he was thanking everybody and he was thanking the doubters and the haters and all that stuff. It immediately reminds me of Jordan. Oh, my God. I am not comparing him to Michael Jordan. All right? Please. I'm not doing that. But it just reminds me of stuff Mike would do when he would take anything, and he would use it as fuel on the floor that night, including making up a story that didn't even happen just so he can not like the player he's playing against so he can drop 50 on his ass. So Montes giving him these kind of things, leaving him off of list, I think as the season goes, let's say he doesn't get Rookie of the Month or, something like that, or even if he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, I want all that stuff because I'm like, cool, use all of that as fuel. Not to say if he wins, it won't be fuel. It's just that helps competitive people when they don't get those things. I'm sure you get this. That helps people who are really competitive when they don't achieve that. It makes them want to work harder and really, truly destroy next time out. So I think this could be a really good thing for Modest, and I hope he takes it to heart.
Speaking of the Summer League roster, we can touch on this real quick. Just actually news that dropped about an hour or so ago.
Okay.
Another member of that Summer League roster, the one and only Funkadelic, Andrew Funk, team's official Twitter account announced they have waived Andrew Funk. Thanks, I guess, and goodbye. So, more importantly for the present and future, what this means is that now the Bulls have reopened up one of those two-way contract roster spots. And, of course, the first question is, Goat, what will they do with this spot? Will they use it on somebody else and fairly quickly? Other people in the replies from our team account reacting to this news saying, hey, maybe could the Bulls just waive Batim, whose contract is non-guaranteed, and then re-sign him on a two-way spot if they want to then free up one of the actual top 15 roster spots that he's currently occupying. What do you make of this move?
Yeah, I don't. So just starting with the Batim thing that you mentioned last, they could do that. They could waive Batim. He's non-guaranteed. On opening night, I think $350,000 of his contract becomes guaranteed. They could do that and move him onto a two-way, but what's the point? He's 25 years old. I just don't see why you keep him around. He's not going to be a big part of the future. He had a good game last year, and it was fun, but I just don't – he's not like a developmental guy that you want to hitch your wagon to because he's 25 years old. So if they wanted to bring him back, they could. But to me, it's you may as well just keep him on the NBA roster then past the first guarantee date when you just have $350,000. And then if you want to make a trade or you wanted to, send out two to bring back one or something like that, you could. If you wanted to waive him so that you can bring back two and send out one, you could do that too. I just don't really feel like that gives you any additional flexibility. So to me, I would be using that two-way spot on another really young guy with upside. That's, as we've talked about before, that's how I would be using these two-way spots. I think in the past, the Bulls have, given these to guys that could potentially come and contribute and help around their core. But it's you don't need to bring in a 25-year-old right now. You don't need a 24-year-old on this deal because those guys don't have upside. And so, yes, it's a nice developmental story when you can get a guy like that. But I think the idea of signing Batim last year to the two-way was, okay, he's 24. Maybe you can shoot some threes and space the floor for DeRozan. DeRozan's not here anymore. Now it's about getting touches for the young players on this team and finding diamonds in the rough. That's how I would be doing this. I think that's what they're trying to do with DJ Stewart, and we'll see if they make use of it for this third two-way spot, which they have now just opened up.
You sad, Dave?
No. I'm okay. Thanks for your time. I enjoyed having fun with you about your name. You got an awesome last name. I hope you get another chance, but it just didn't work out here. Thanks for coming.
Our guy, Fred Pulse TV, said, I swear to God, if they use that two-way to re-sign Henry Drell again, I'm with you, Clem. There ain't no way. Do not.
Keep him on the roster.
Still more to come here, CHGO Bulls, including what we think of the Vegas odds makers, given the Bulls' initial over-under win total out of the gate. Too low, too high? Should Bulls fans want it to be higher or lower? That's coming up next. But first, Speaking of Modest Buzelis and how much Bulls fans are stoked about him, number 11 draft pick.
Talk to me.
Ray! You got to make Ray Chevrolet your first draft pick and find the right new Chevy and price for you. Visit our partner at Ray Chevrolet this July to shop the Freedom to Save sales event going on all month long at their location on Route 12 in, that's right, Fox Lake, or at raychevrolet.com. As one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Plus, you can find the perfect tailgate vehicle. CHGO Bears tailgates are right around the corner, y'all. September 8th. Right now, get $12,000 off MSRP on a new 2024 Chevy Silverado or lease the new 2024 Chevy Trax for only $188 a month for 24 months. That's the length of Vooch's remaining contract. Or cruise into July your own way and shop over 125 of their vehicles priced under $20,000. And if you've heard of Ray Chevrolet, then of course you've also heard of that Ray's Price Promise, the one telling you that when you see a car and a price that you like on their website, and go to the dealership and say to Ray and his team, hey, want this car or this truck for this price? They will say, you got it.
Got it.
Never any hidden fees or hijinks when you go to the dealership to close out that deal. If anything, Ray and his team are going to do everything they can to find you even more savings and a lower price than the one you saw online when you walk through those doors. So shop the Freedom to Save sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake, raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
Ooh. This next ad is Baby Joey approved. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades that are built to last. Who makes those? Our people at Shady Rays. They got you covered with those premium polarized shades that will not, I repeat, will not break the bank. Shady Rays, the independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames, crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor, and as this man is going to prove, your indoor adventure honeys.
Howdy ho.
Howdy ho. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style, like this man over here to my left, the GOAT. Look at that stylist right there. He's so cool. I love it. It's the best. And they probably have a style with your favorite team's colors. They are awesome. So exclusive for the listeners out there, Shady Rays is giving away their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO. Get 35% off of those premium polarized shades. Drive by yourself. The shades that are rated 5 stars for over 300,000 people because the Shady Rays, y'all, where the Rays are so shady.
Woo.
Sarah, you got your Rays?
I have like 5 pairs at home.
Well done. Well done.
They treat us very well here at CHGO.
That they do.
This is the fact.
You can never have too many pairs of Shady Rays.
Cannot.
Different styles.
Yep.
I take them to the beach and everything, and they get dirty, and they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the lost and broken replacements plan, you don't even trip when
Did you fill out your lost and broken replacements plan yet for the ones that you left in Vegas?
I did. I did start filling it out. I absolutely did. And then what I like about them is they started giving me options on how can I improve the glasses. And I'm like, ooh, tell me more, Shady Ray. You mean I can get more of the premium polarizedness on my shades? Yes, I would like that for a little couple extra bucks. Not a lot of money, just a couple of quick extra bucks that they charge you on that. You can get an even better pair of those glasses. I didn't know you could do that. I'm finding this stuff out. It's really cool. Shout out Shady Rays. I'm never leaving. Never leaving. I'm not leaving.
Definitely necessary to have multiple pairs out there in Vegas. My goodness.
Yes. Oh, I saw Anthony asked us, he knows we were out there other than drinking. Did any of you 3 gamble while you were out in Vegas? Matt, you want to take that?
Well, Anthony, did you miss all of our Vegas shows? I feel like we touched on our gambling wins or losses at the top of every show the following morning.
Yeah, we broke
The answer
it
is, yeah, we did some gambling.
We did a little bit.
I'm mostly just, I'm hurting for Joe.
Oh.
Well, just because, he went hard.
Yeah.
Craps table. Finally convinced him to play a little roulette
Crapped
last night. Crapped out, roulette it out.
Yeah, roulette it out.
And I did not see a victorious smile on his face at any point when we were on a casino floor on that trip.
He did look like an age 30-year-old when he was sitting at
looked
those tables.
a little more haggard than usual.
Yes, correct. Because he has to learn. I just think he has to learn the roulette table. There's a certain respect. So he's putting chips down. He's slamming them down. He's not respecting the 23. You know, he tried to do it his own way. Table don't usually go with you when you try to do it your own way. You have to respect the table.
Yeah.
That's all. Once he does that, I think he'll pick it right back up. And it'll be awesome.
Not what the song "Go Your Own Way" was about. It's not why it was written. It wasn't about casinos. You got to play the system, play the house.
Kids.
What about you, Sarah? You ever do any gambling?
No. I have yet to gamble in my life.
Wow. Never on anything.
Like legal gambling. I've never done that.
Like didn't go in a convenience store and get like some scratch off lotto tickets when you turn 21 or
I've done that, but I guess the most I ever won was like $8.
No, talk to me more about this illegal gambling that you might be doing.
Well, just like, I don't know, like weekend friend things. I've played poker and blackjack, and we may or may
That's
not.
illegal.
Oh, so like house games.
Yeah, like
which are
house
technically
gambling.
illegal, but like everybody does
But
that.
have I done it, like walked into a casino and gambled? I have yet to have that experience.
Oh, we got to get you that experience.
I want to.
Circa, shout out.
Circa, send me to Vegas next year.
What would you play if you were out there? What would you want to play?
Probably blackjack.
Oh, that's your.
Yeah, I feel like
you're
that's.
in luck.
I feel like that's the only one that would
blackjack
make.
there.
Yeah. And then I do want to do the roulette table. Is that the red and the black?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I want to do that.
Yeah. Red hit 10 times while Will
I know
was
you
there.
told me that. I'm gonna play red next.
Will freaked out. Freaked out, guys.
On out his ear. It was gone.
Speaking of gambling, VegasInsider.com dropped the initial 24-25 NBA regular season win total over-unders for all 30 teams, including our beloved Bulls. And I think it's actually even shifted. The original lines had the Bulls at 30.5 wins as the over-under line.
So it went up.
It has since dropped to 29.5. The Bulls come in 7th lowest win projection wise. So you see that screenshot there. Thank you, Sarah. That's the bottom 15 on Vegas Insider.com earlier today. Okay. So,
but tied for 7.
Tied for 7, correct. So you got the Brooklyn Nets at the lowest spot, 21.5. Blazers, Pistons, and Wizards all set at 22.5. Charlotte at 27.5, so 5-game jump there. Jazz 28.5. Toronto Raptors also were at 30.5 out of the gate. And then past Bulls and Raptors is another significant jump up to San Antonio and Atlanta, each at 35.5. Reaction to this initial peg of 30.5 wins for the Bulls next season, Dave?
Sure. I mean, great. Honestly, that's over what I kind of thought that they would be. But that's fine for me because that means I get to watch 30 wins at least. I'm cool with that. And it still keeps me within the top 10. And I'm all right with that. That's as long as you're within the top 10, I'm cool with the 30 wins right there. That doesn't bother me at all. Does it bother you, Will? It doesn't bother me.
I just have a question before I get into this. So, you know, and just getting a question from Dreads here about it too. Does this get us Cooper or Ace? I think that's the question. Are you thinking about this in terms of let's just keep our pick, but not necessarily be like the worst of the worst or put ourselves in the best possible position? We all know the lottery odds have been flattened. It's much easier to move from 1 to 5 as the Detroit Pistons have done the last 3 years.
Yeah. Or in the reverse direction, what the Atlanta Hawks did in the lottery this year.
Sure. And so I guess my question for you is, are you thinking about this as in like, let's win as many games as we can while also staying within the bottom 10? Or are you thinking about this as like, let's be as bad as possible. Let's secure the best possible position. Let's remove as much downside as possible for this season. And let's move forward from there.
I'm thinking of it in the sense of, I think 30 wins is as bad as I think they'll be.
Yeah.
So as far as the lottery, I just have never looked at it as anything but a lottery. So if this was football, obviously it'd be different. I'd be like, yes, lose everything. You'll get the number 1 pick. You'll be higher. But it's a lottery. Like, you have no idea how the ball is going to go or where it would turn up. Hell, people were pissed the Bulls land at 11 and you walked away with what looks like the second best player in the draft right now. So who knows? You don't know. As long as we're in the game, it's all I care about. I don't want to lose the pick. So that's the bottom line for me, Will. I don't want to lose that pick. As long as we keep it, whatever we have to do to keep it. We win 15 games, cool, we keep it. We win 30 games, cool, we keep it, fine. But for me, the max out is 30. I think that they're a 30-win team at the very, very least. And so that's where my brain is.
So you think their floor of wins next season is going to be 30?
Yeah, I think it's a 30-win team.
Interesting.
Like, just watching them and seeing them and watching the East also, and that bottom half of that East. I don't think Charlotte's going to be that low. I don't think it's going to be 27. I think they'll be in the 30s personally. I think the Bulls will be, battling with the bad down there, and those top 8 teams that we had mentioned before on a previous show is going to be stomping all over, those other teams like that. So, and of course the West, oh my God. So yeah, I see them getting those 30 wins. They might have a signature win within that, a fun win, I would say, that won't totally piss you off. That it might be fun to see them actually win one, but I don't see them going or exceeding over 30. I think 30 is it. If they get 35, I would be shocked to my core, and Matt would be throwing things.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing to note is just like where the Bulls kind of stack up in the bottom 10. We saw that graphic that Sarah posted, but a couple of other odds makers have had their books, have kind of shown where the Bulls are, and they're pretty firmly in the bottom 8. So it's Nets, Wizards, Blazers, Pistons, Bulls, Jazz, Hornets, Raptors. The Spurs are kind of like that one tier up. They are projected 35.5 or 36.5, depending on where you're looking. And then the Hawks in the East are 35.5, 34.5, depending on where you're looking. So the Hawks would be, in this case, in the Eastern Conference, the Hawks would be the 9th seed. And the Bulls are projected to be, according to Caesars, the same number of wins as the Raptors. So those two teams would be fighting for 10 in the Eastern Conference. And to me, that is just like, that in and of itself is way too scary for me to not just say, okay, let's just totally tank out this year.
Yeah.
Let's be the worst team possible. Let's try to get the best pick. And I understand, as I just mentioned, the flattened lottery odds change things. But again, my counter to that is you're looking at downside, and like, the top 5 in this draft is going to be really strong. I think you're going to be looking at like a franchise player. And even if you do feel good about your young core, I think if you are drafting at 7, 8, 9, 10, or giving up your pick, you're building for the middle again. And I think it's worth it to just be as bad as possible this year. Maybe next year too. I doubt the Bulls are ready to stomach that. But like, that is the way out of this. Otherwise, you're just on that cycle of mediocrity again. And so to me, it's about losing as many games as possible. I would be like, if they won 30 games, that would stress me out because it would be too close to the play-in where you end up as the 10th seed again, and you either keep your pick as like the number 10 pick, or maybe you give it up, but you're just building for the middle again. And like, that's the cycle that you're trying to break by doing this in the first place. And so to me, it's all about getting into that bottom 5 so that 1, you guarantee keeping your pick, but 2, you give yourself a really good chance of getting a franchise player, which is the whole point of doing this in the first place.
Yeah. The reason I don't agree with that is because it's a lottery. It's the only reason I don't agree with that. Yeah. I think your logic is sound. But if what you're saying was a guarantee of things to happen, great, I'll be with it. But since it's not, I'm okay with it just playing out how it plays out, because that's just how, for me, it happens in basketball. You lay it out to be played out. And how it happens is kind of how it's going to go down. So if you might find somebody in a loaded draft, and as long as you're within that top 10, and you get a player like that, in a loaded draft, that's all I keep hearing, is that it's a loaded draft. If you get one within that top 10, 7, you get them 7, 8, 9, fine. You get them 5 and up, great, even better. Nobody's against any of this. I'm not against any of that shit. I'm just saying, since it's a lottery, it's a lottery. Yeah, you want them to lose. Sure, yeah, I'm with that. I'm not saying Bulls go out here and win all the games. I'm simply telling you that it's a lottery, and I know that it can't be controlled where the hell the ping pong balls are going to go. If that was the case, the Detroit Pistons would have a top 2 pick in the last at least 2 or 3 drafts. But they didn't. They walked away with the top 5 at least the last 2 times, and they still ain't happy, and they still ass. And they still playing for the middle, even with 2 top 5 picks. So you just lay it out to play it out. That's how I look at it.
I mean, I hear you, Dave. And I love you. But
come on,
you're so wrong.
Come on with it,
like,
baby.
You're so wrong.
Talk to me.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm with Will in that, like, if it's the first week of March 2025 and the Bulls are like bearing down on 30 wins, I'm gonna be freaking out. But I am not that worried about it right now, because whereas you just said you see 30 wins as this team's win floor next season, I see that as much closer to being the ceiling. Look, I know Bulls fans have been saying, like, hey, we got this fun young core, and, you know, maybe Zach will come back and be healthy and be a closer version of his all-star self. And, like, you know, we got all these fun young pieces. Kobe can ascend. Ayu can still get better. Maybe Patrick finally proves it with this new contract. I hear all Bulls fans saying all these kinds of rose-colored glasses kind of things when talking about win total, right? We're already talking about win total next season because we know we have that top 10 protected pick. I see a team that lost a top 5 defensive player in the league, who also, by the way, had a career year behind the three-point line last season, and replaced him with a guy who is not, by a far cry, a top 5 defensive player, who also, by the way, can't shoot threes, and Josh Giddey.
Correct.
Oh, and DeMar DeRozan's gone.
Correct.
How many wins collectively did DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso get this team last year with their performances? DeRozan leading the NBA in total minutes played, Caruso career year behind the line, and first team all defense or second team all defense. Because I'm sorry, I think at least more than half of this just god awful mediocre team's wins last season are attributed to those two players.
I can tell you
they are gone.
I can tell you exactly what it is according to EPM, estimated plus minus. DeMar was worth 9 wins, which was in the 93rd percentile, and Caruso was worth 7.6 wins, which was in the 90th percentile. So you remove those two guys, that's almost 17 and a half wins combined between the two of them. Now you bring Zach back in, you bring in Buzelis, Patrick plays the full season. Drummond also factored for 3.1 wins, so you have to take that into consideration too. But I do think that you get a little bit of a boost just by playing a different style. Injuries could throw any of this off, but I agree with you, Matt, that like, especially when you think about how many close games this team was able to win or even just get themselves into, that's not going to be as easy without DeMar. When you think about like the amount of game-saving plays first of all, Caruso hit a game-winning shot. Yeah. Right. Secondly, he hit a game three-pointer to put the Bulls into overtime in a game, which they ended up winning. He had multiple game-saving stops. So I just think you are going to get a lot worse. But I also think that it's not just you remove 17 wins from not having them. I think there's some that comes back in.
I need to stop this right now because I think I'm misspeaking and what I'm saying is not being understood. 30 wins is where I see them maxing out at. I don't see them going over and getting 30 wins or more than 30 wins.
Oh, okay.
I think 30 wins is it. If they get over that, I will be completely shocked.
Okay.
If they got over, that's what I said. If they got 35,
clarify
I would be
what you were saying, and I said, so you're saying 30 wins as the floor of this team, and you said, yeah.
That's where the miscommunication is. No, I don't see them getting more than 30 wins. Absolutely not. I'm not insane.
Okay.
No, I would be shocked if they got to 30. To be honest with you, if they got to 30 wins, I'd be like, damn, that would be the best season for them possible if win total wise.
Right.
But no, I don't see them getting more than that.
Okay.
Absolutely
well,
not.
and the other element of the whole DeMar being gone and Caruso being gone, you don't just take those wins away because there's other stuff going on. You mentioned different styles. The other element to me is okay, how much of Kobe White blossoming happened because he got to do what he could do with all of the defense's attention on DeMar DeRozan? Yeah. Now defenses are going to be keying in on Kobe White.
Sure.
Game planning for Kobe White way more. Instead of maybe Kobe taking another step, maybe he stays the same. Maybe he regresses a bit because he has more focus of defenses every night. But then to me, the other thing that I disagree with, Dave, respectfully,
Come on,
is when you're saying you play it out just to play it out and it's a lottery. So you shouldn't prioritize a lottery. If the Bulls front office finally and way too late changes directions and is going with the youth movement, I think any Bulls fan who sees the cornerstone piece of a championship team half a decade or a decade from now on this roster right now is fooling themselves. And I don't say that to downplay what we saw in the growth of Kobe last season. I don't say that to downplay how excited I am as a Bulls fan after watching Modest Buzelis ball out in Summer League while shooting 33% from the field. It's that there is not that guy. And there might be that guy in next year's draft class. And if yes, okay, priority 1A, keep it in that top 10 protected area. And who what does it matter lottery-wise if you come in at 10 or you come in at 1 or even top 3 that all have the same, 14% split across the top 3. To me, bigger numbers are bigger numbers. And I know a lot of Bulls fans don't agree with my take. That's always been my take, even as they flattened out the lottery a few years ago. Bigger numbers are bigger numbers. And when your organization is a dumpster fire mess heading nowhere, give me all the freaking ping pong balls you can. I don't care about wins next season. I care about ping pong balls at the end of next season because I want a franchise player that this team can build around. And that player ain't here right now. Jesus.
To be fair, it's no guarantee he's going to be there next year either. And I think that's the thing here.
Still give me the best odds possible at picking that guy.
But for me to sit here and say that guy, I couldn't even say that now that I don't see a cornerstone here. Because people said that same shit about Joe Kim Noah not being a cornerstone. And but I can't even say that. You know what I'm saying? But because looking at Modest, I'm not going to put that on him. There's no way you can fucking do it. I don't think like that. I think, okay, you go in here and you play and you do your thing, you get better. We'll see where it lands after that. Some dudes you can look at, of course, Andrew Funk, and tell that they ain't going to be that kind of guy. You're not going to be this kind of player. You're not going to be this. You're not going to be that. Guys like, I don't know yet with Modest. That's why I can't say that. That's why I can't say it yet. I hear you. I just can't say that yet. The draft is a draft. Of course, there are players who you're like, dude, they're going to be the dude. Cooper Flagg, we know is going to be the dude. That's a given. You know what I mean? I think we can all be cool with that. And so, yes, your mindset is, give me all the ping pong because I want that dude. I get that. It makes all the sense in the world. If we end up with Cooper Flagg, wonderful. I'm saying since it's a lottery, I don't know if the more ping pong balls mean that we're going to get this better basketball player in Cooper Flagg. Because I've seen it go sideways the past 5-6 years with these other teams. With teams who are just okay. And that teetering at almost making the playoffs, walking away with Zion Williamson, or teetering walking away, and then watching Atlanta get the number 1 pick. Like, for me, it's just a draft.
I would rather see it go sideways coming into it with the tied for highest odds of winning.
I get it. I get what you're saying. I hear that, but it's still a gamble.
Well,
regardless of it, it's still a gamble.
Why bother trying to be at the top of the lottery because it might go sideways? Of course it might go sideways.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean...
I didn't say that. I didn't fucking say that. Nobody said that, dog. You can't argue a point I didn't say.
You're saying that you...
I'm saying you're inclined. You might get you a dope player in this draft.
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg is the only given for me right now that he's going to be that dude in this draft.
Yeah.
So obviously you want to tank for Cooper. That's what you're saying. I'm saying the more ping pong balls you get, nothing is guaranteed that you're going to walk away with Cooper Flagg.
No, you know what's guaranteed? The more ping pong balls you get, the more ping pong balls you get.
Being in the damn draft means you got a shot at Cooper Flagg. Being in that top 10 means you got a shot at him. So the team with the most losses is going to get Cooper Flagg? You willing to say that right now?
No, the team with the most losses has the highest odds of getting Cooper Flagg.
Got that.
That's how probability works.
That ain't gambling. Ain't you played roulette with me? Do you see how I walk away with the wins on the roulette? That's how I walk. It's got to be that, bro. That's how it goes. Go ahead.
I just think it's about putting yourself in, thinking about it probabilistically. Like, you're putting yourself in the best position to succeed. That's really what it comes down to for me. And, like, a couple of random wins in February or March or losses is not going to, like, matter to me when we're talking about, like, if it's a difference between, like, okay, let's look at this exactly. Let's say the Bulls finish with the 7th best odds of winning the lottery. That puts them at a 19.7% chance of getting the 7th pick. And 7.5 at 1, 7.8 at 2, 8.1, and then 8.5 to get the 4th pick. But if there's a difference between 1 win or 2 wins where they would move up to 6th, all of a sudden you go from a 7.5% chance to win to a 9% chance.
Sure.
And so, like, to me, yeah, you go for the probabilities, and it's not guaranteed to work. But like when you're thinking about what I already consider to be a season that winning doesn't matter, why not just put yourself in the best position to maximize your best probabilities? So I get it. Like there's no guarantee that you land anywhere, and there's no guarantee that Cooper is that guy. Like we think he is, and it sounds like he is, and he looks like he is, but but he hasn't played in the NBA yet. We don't know what he looks like. And so to me, it's like I would rather be the worst team in the league this year and have a guarantee at a top 5 pick than being the 3rd worst team and have a guarantee at being a top 7 pick. and just remove that. To me, it's more about like the downside than it is about the upside. Obviously, you want Cooper Flagg. He's the number one guy. He's the top prize. But to me, it's also just about like limiting your downside exposure, because if you fall back, now you're looking at a difference between, I don't know, like Dylan Harper or VJ Edgecombe versus like Trey Johnson or Liam McNeely. And like that could be a big difference.
Sure.
So that's the way I'm thinking about it. I understand that it's not a guarantee, and that's why they changed the lottery so that it doesn't do this. But why not just give yourself the best chance? And it's chance. That's what we're talking about. But I'll take the best chance over a little bit of a worse chance or a little bit of a better chance any day of the week.
I got you.
Derek Stevens in the comments saying, I'm with Dave, tanking
That's why
sucks.
We have a great show.
I don't disagree. Tanking does suck. Tanking's not fun. You think I enjoy tanking seasons? No. Sometimes they're your best foot forward. And that's just...
Here's the other thing. Here's the other way to...
No.
Here's the other way to think about it.
I didn't enjoy this season when they were not bad enough to be tanking, and I was miserable and rooting for losses because that was in their best interest.
To me, I think about it like you want to put this behind you, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was frustrating last year is like I just knew that they were bad now and that this was going to come. Like whether Arturis admitted it or not, this is the reality of things. When you are a mediocre team who's old, you have to rebuild, period. That's how it works. And so why not just get into it now so that it can already be behind you? And so for me, it's like, why not give yourself the best chance of getting Cooper Flagg this year? Because if you get him, okay, now you're cooking. You got Kobe and Io and Patrick and Modest and Cooper Flagg and Giddy. Like that's a core you can build around. But if you get another okay role player, starter type, now you're just building through the middle again. Keep it on like churning in the middle. And like, then you can't put it behind you. And so I would much rather have 1 year where you guarantee yourself a top 5 pick, where you can actually get a guy in this draft, and then be done with it, so you can start to focus on the future.
I'm trying to comprehend everything. When you say building from the middle, you don't mean within the top 5. You mean outside of the top 5. You're building for the middle.
I mean building from like being the 10th worst team to the 11th best team. Those middle 10 teams in the league.
I'm saying if they land like outside of the top 5 with that pick, do you still feel whatever pick they get, they'll be building from the middle?
I don't know. We have to wait and see what these prospects end up looking like and how good they actually could be.
Yeah.
But like, if there's 1 or 2 generational prospects in this draft, like let's go get them, because then you can be done with this.
Sure, I got you.
Before we get out of here, a couple of super chats from our guy Dan Miller in the comments, who said, if the Bulls lose, they get a top 10 pick. Parentheses, poop for Coop, or pace, or pace for Ace.
I got a couple. Capture the flag.
Okay.
Capture the flag. Okay.
And waving the white flag.
I like capture the flag.
Capture the flag.
Capture the flag is good. It's more
Coop
fun sound. Waving the white flag just sounds like, yeah, we give up.
Yeah,
we are giving up. They are giving up this season.
If you can't even tweet out
it's accurate.
You can't even tweet out the right link from your team account, maybe you should give up. Shout out again, Michael Olson.
That's new best friend.
Dan saying, if we win by trading away Levine and Vooch still and keeping the youth movement, maybe just being a playing team, or even better, being in the playoffs as a top 6. That tells me the youth is growing, a la Paw, Patrick Williams making a miraculous leap, Kobe an all-star berth, Modest remaining aggressive. Thoughts? Bless your heart for all that optimism you just spouted.
Yeah,
basically saying like,
that.
are you trying to say like win-win? Hey, the Bulls are bad. If some of us think they might be bad, they keep their top 10 pick. Good. If they are surprisingly not bad, it means that there is more developmental steps happening with some of the young guys already on the team.
I think that's exactly what they're hoping for. But again, even if they make the playoffs this year, like
they ain't making the playoffs.
I mean,
They're not making
through the play-in or whatever it might be, like they got there because somebody took a leap. And I think you can be excited about that. At the same time, is that leap big enough to where this guy can be the number 1 player on a championship team? Because if not, then you're taking away your opportunity to eventually get that guy.
Right.
And that's what this season should be about. So even if they do make the playoffs, that would still be slightly frustrating for me, because I think it basically completely removes this opportunity to get a franchise player, which is ultimately what they need. And now you're going to go through the next couple of years, see what you got with your core, ultimately realize they're not good enough, ultimately realize you can't give Kobe a max contract, ultimately have to trade him, and then ultimately have to go through the same rebuilding process again, when you could just go through it now, rip off the Band-Aid, and then move forward when you've actually got your core.
Gotcha.
Like, to me, it's all about just doing it and then putting it behind you.
Yeah.
This idea of like being able to avoid it, it's not possible. It's not realistic. Time and time again, we see teams get stuck in the middle, try to avoid tanking, be spinning their wheels for 2 years, sign Bradley Beal to a max contract, get nothing when you have to trade him because you gave him a no league. When you could have just done that, you could be already done with that. You could already have your core if you just would have gotten on with it in the first place. And I think that's what the Bulls should have done in 2020 when Arturas came in. I think they should have done that like multiple times throughout their history. They should have done it last year. They should have done it the year before. You just have to do it because that's the way it works. It just is. And so the sooner you accept that, the sooner you go through it, the sooner you can put it behind you, and then the sooner you can move forward with your young core, assuming you have one. And I like the core that the Bulls have. I understand that they are excited about some of these guys, and I think they can be really good too. But it would be a lot better for Kobe to be the number 2 guy or the number 3 guy than to be the number 1 guy. And as good as Kobe is, and as good as we think he can be, and how much better he still can get, you can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. And so everything makes a lot more sense when you slot into your position. I think that's why Kobe had a breakout year. I think Kobe would be very excited this year to have an opportunity to be the number 1 guy. I'm not taking it away from him for sure. But no, I'm not. I think he can be the number 1 guy on this team. But how good can that team be? And I think ultimately you just need to get as many pieces around as possible so that you can move forward. And I think the longer you wait, the longer it takes to ultimately get out of that when you do realize you have to get into it.
Sure.
Dan doubling down with another super chat saying, clear cut, if we got top 6 in the playoffs without Zach and Vooch and rocking with the youth movement, that we got youth making huge leaps. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong about that line of logic. If Zach and Vooch are traded and the Bulls are a top 6 seed next season, that means a huge leap from the youth development. Not happening. That's a fun hypothetical you just spat out there. Now, let's start with step 1. Who we trading Zach to? Who we trading Vooch to?
Lonzo.
Not happening. Top 6 seed?
He's still here.
Top 6 seed?
Oh my God! What bitch was that?
I just went into Jim Mora vocals.
Playoffs.
I just thought we could win a game.
Oh, somebody trying to pull it down,
seed.
Sarah. Shout out. It's catching on. Shout out, Sarah.
Top 6 seed.
Shout out, Flipside.
My goodness. We will suck. I'm preparing myself for it. Low key, we'll be rooting for Sacramento.
I just want fun bad. That's all I want. I want fun.
I think that is something we can all agree on.
Give me fun bad.
Give me fun bad.
That is it for today. We are out of time. Everybody, thanks for hanging out today. Do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button on your way out if you were watching along on YouTube. We appreciate it. Make sure you also subscribe to CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Sign up today to become a diehard if you aren't already for all those great perks and discounts. We are back tomorrow, same time, same place, 5 p.m. Central Time. Will the Go Gottlieb. In the meantime, you can read his stuff, allchgo.com. Follow him, Will_Gottlieb, Big Dave Bow, BAWL Sports, Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Shout out and thanks to our incredible producer, Sarah, behind the controls. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night. See you, be good. Love Michael Olson, the people's champion.
We all silly like the mayor.